guys, so I hope that you have had a wonderful New Year, Happy New Year, and I hope you had a lovely New Year's Eve and Christmas and all that jazz, and that you got what you wished for and you spent some really lovely time with your families and all that kind of stuff. I'm actually going to be doing the tutorial that I wasn't wearing a tutorial obviously, I was wearing this makeup look in my last video. And I had an awful lot of requests to do it for you, and I did actually say that I basically had just put Groundwork all over my eyelids and then just done Flicky liner, but I will tart it up a little bit for this tutorial and show you exactly how I did that with the products that I mentioned in the down bar. And the foundation that I'm wearing today is different. I was going to show you everything that I had done, but I'm actually using a different foundation today than the one I was wearing, because the one I was wearing doesn't match me very well at the moment and I don't want to look weird on camera. So the one I'm using is the YSL Youth Liberator. I already have this on. This is the colour BD50 and I'm already wearing this and my YSL Touch Eclat in 3.5 because when I decided to film this I was already applying makeup and I thought, oh actually this is the look that you guys wanted to see, so I should probably film it. So I'm going to move on to eyebrows now. I have combed through my eyebrows a little bit. Now I'm going to zoom you in so you can see what I'm actually doing. My mirror that I have is over there, so if I'm looking over there and not at you, I apologise, but I kind of need to see that it looks okay in real life. So I'm going to be taking my Anastasia Brow Wizz in medium ash. It looks like this. It has the thing on one end and it has a spoolie on the other. So if you want to brush through your brows first, then you can do. And then I'm just going to fill in my brows how I normally would. So mine are a fairly good shape. There's just patches of, not even like missing hair, just of like a lot less hair. So everyone who wants to see an eyebrow video, this is how I do it. I mean, mine are fairly thick in shape anyway, so I'm quite lucky. But you want to do little short strokes. And then, so I do this on both sides. If I can find it. And then I take my little eyebrow palette from MAC, which has Omega on one side and Charcoal Brown on the other. And I take Omega through the front part of my brow over the colour that we've already put in there. And do the same on the other one. And I actually find that if you put a powder over a pencil, just really lightly, then it helps to sort of set the pencil, almost as if it's a kind of the same technique as if you were, you know, you set your foundation with powder. I just find it lasts a lot better. I take a weeny bit of the darker colour, which is Charcoal Brown, and I put that through the ends. Obviously I like quite bold brows because mine are quite thick anyway. It's just that they have gaps, and obviously my hair is very dark, so I think it looks better if I have a decent brow. Then I'm going to be taking my Maybelline Brow Drama. This is a sculpting brow mascara and it's the colour medium brown, and I just put that through and sort of brush them up, and this will just help hold the colour in. It has a little bit of a tint to it, but it doesn't actually add too much colour, and it will sort of just hold the shape for me all day so they don't go crazy. Next, let's move on to eyes. The first thing I'm going to do is take MAC's Groundwork Paint Pot, which is a medium brown. I don't think it has any shimmer in it, and I'm just going to take that on my finger and pop that all over the eyelid and then blend it into my crease as well. And you can build it up in thin layers, because the thicker the layer the more likely it is to crease. Now these are good at not creasing anyway, but just in case. And take that underneath the eye also, like quite low. I've had to get a lamp because my light is going, because I'm filming this at a not very good time of day, and I don't have studio lights, which is another one of my New Year's resolutions, is to actually get some nice equipment so that my videos look a lot better. Anyway, as I was saying, once you've done that to both eyes, you just need to get the shape kind of okay-ish. Now don't worry if it's actually not perfect shape. You can see mine isn't, but we're actually going to put a little bit of colour in the crease just to even that out a little bit. And it is supposed to be kind of like a little bit smudgy and kind of rough looking anyway. So I'm now going to take my Naked Basics palette and I'm going to take the lighter brown colour here, which is Naked 2, on a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to go over that crease area with this. And you can see that just sort of helps the shape a little bit. And I'm going to do the same on the other eye. The key is to blend. Then I'm going to take the darker colour, which is Faint, and pop that in the outer corner. Just a weeny bit. Now you can skip this step and literally just use Groundwork paint pot, which is what I did in the last one, but I thought I'd make it a little bit more fancy for you guys. So obviously you want to blend that out. You should be using a couple of different brushes, but all of my blending brushes need a clean at the moment, so I'm having to wipe it off on a towel or something. Now you should have a shape that looks something like that. Now wipe off your brush or use a different one, and I'm going in with the colour Foxy, which is here. It's a matte colour. You can actually use your everyday sort of face powder if you like. That's also fine. And we're going to pop that underneath the brow bone and blend out that harsh line. Now if you think you've taken too much off, you can go in with that medium brown, the Naked 2 colour, and go back over. Just so that you get a nice sort of fuzzy looking blend. Now I'm going to go in with my liner, and I'm using the Rimmel Scandalise Precision Micro Liner that looks like this. I'm going to zoom you in so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to start on this eye, and my mirror is so far away from me right now, so I'm really sorry about that. Now I've just taken that out a little bit to do a little flick. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. The next step is to curl your lashes. I like to use the Kevin Aucoin eyelash curlers. And then we're going to apply our mascara. The mascara that I'm going to be using is the Lancome Hypnose one. Looks like this. It's more of a volumizing than a lengthening one, so if it's length you need, I suggest the Maybelline Legal Lengths one. I really like that. We're just going to apply our mascara. Once you've done that, you're going to apply your lip colour. I was actually just wearing lip balm, so right now I have the Christian Dior Balm de Rose on, which is basically just like a really, really light pink colour, but pretty much clear once you've applied it. I actually really like pairing this with like quite a nude lip, so Max Jubilee is really nice, or something that I've been loving lately is the Lancome The Absolute New in the colour 202, which is a really sort of light creamy pink colour. And for blush and bronzer, I'm just going to zoom you out. I am going to be using no bronzer today, just a little bit of NARS's Douceur blush, which is kind of similar to Max Tenderling. And we're just going to apply that to the cheekbones and the apples of the cheeks. If you want to do bronzer, I believe I was wearing bronzer in that video, and it would have been NARS Laguna, probably. I will just powder my face also, because I'm looking a wee bit shiny. If you have really oily skin, the foundation that I'm wearing is probably not appropriate for you, but if you have dry skin, it'll be brilliant. So I'm just taking a little bit of the... what is this? Soap and Glory One Heck of a Blot Powder, which looks like that. Sorry about blinding you with a mirror. And we're just going to take that where you would naturally get oily. So I wouldn't set the whole of the face because you want to look healthy and glowy. But I get quite oily in my T-zone, so that's an area. And notice that I'm not sweeping anything away because that will move the product you've already put down. You actually just want to pat it into the skin. And there we have the finished look. I am really, really sorry about the lighting because I am aware that it's very dark now and it's changed a little bit because it is very dark outside. But I hope that this has sort of showed you how I achieved the look that I was wearing. I will probably redo this at some stage so that you can see properly, and maybe do some hair with it also. But I hope you've had a lovely Christmas, Happy New Year, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye!